are in the waiting room.
Bye.
Thanks,
No,
Bobby.
they're all here in the meeting. You have 16 people.
Okay, great. Well, I'm gonna go, it's at 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the meeting. Welcome to all the people that are in the waiting room. We're really glad that you have tuned into this meeting. And I would like to bring the regular board meeting of the Morongo Valley Community Services District Board of Directors, December 16th, 2020 meeting to order. And I will do the roll call. Gail Swart here. Christina Brook,
Here.
Matthew Campos,
Here.
Lori Klimowitz,
Here.
Johnny Tolbert.
Here. Here.
Okay. All right, would you please all join me in the pledge?
Well, you didn't go yet, did you? Okay.
I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag
of
the
the United States of
of
America
America
and to the
republic
republic for which it
which
stands,
one
one nation,
nation,
under
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
My phone thinks we're talking to it.
Oh, okay. Approval of the agenda.
Thank you, honey.
Johnny, do you still want to move the swearing in of you and Christina to be next?
We need to because she has to be able to vote on everything. We have to allow her,
Okay.
to have her vote. Also, Gail, I would like to add
Yeah.
The Osborne Award. We haven't talked about the Osborne Award yet.
Oh, okay. So where do you want to put that one?
Last item from
It's
new
got to be
business.
a new
Yeah, go to-
business. The last thing in new business. Okay,
Yeah,
that's going to
so-
be,
We would move the swearing in up now. So Safer Grant 2, Safer Grant would be 2, resolution would be, so Safer Grant would be 1, resolution would be 2, and then Osborne would be 3. If we move the swearing in
okay,
up.
1, 2, and 3 is going to be the Osborne.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, is there anything else that needs to be changed on the agenda? Oh, yes, we have to add, and we can do that right after we swear you in, Christina and Johnny, to take Matthew Campos off of the, as signature at Pacific Bank and put Christina Gorky on. We have to vote on that. So
No, we don't.
let's,
Gail, we don't have to vote on that. We never voted on that in the past. All that requires
Okay.
is a letter to the bank on district letterhead signed by the
Okay.
president or the finance director. We do it every,
okay,
we do it
well
every
then,
year.
Do we care that
Okay.
agenda is misspelled?
oh, well,
Well,
it's probably a
copy
typo.
of our driver's license to make sure it's spelled correctly.
I think we have to bring the minutes up to the bank.
Use minutes.
Yes,
Last time
we
we
do.
did it. Last time we did it with just a signed letter because it was when Roxanne resigned. But usually it's a signed letter and the minutes go to the bank. We don't have to vote on anything. Once the bank sees that we actually brought somebody else in, it's not a resolution or an active item that we vote on to say do it. It has to be done.
Well, then it has to be in the minutes that that person is going to be put on. So let's do that after we give you the oath of office, and then I will put that on next. That we agree to do that. Okay?
Okay.
Can't hurt. Anything else? Anything else on the agenda? Does anybody want anything switched or have any more things you want to put on? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as changed?
So moved. Johnny
Go
can
ahead,
have it.
Christine.
I'll second it.
All right, Johnny and Christina, okay. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to,
You're gonna vote on it?
I'll start. Oh, yes, we did. I thought we did. No, okay.
You got
All
your,
those
you
in
got your
favor?
first and your second.
Aye.
Yeah, I got my first and my second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstaining? Okay. All right, that's taken care of. Okay. So, Christina, I'll start with you.
Well,
This is the
Gail,
old,
do you mind if I say a few words before we bring in the new folks?
go right ahead.
I appreciate
Please
it.
do.
First of all, I want to just express what an honor and a privilege and a pleasure it has been serving the Morongo Valley for the last 5 years. And I remember this night 5 years ago when I got sworn in, and it was a pretty memorable evening, to be sure. We've had some good times, we've had some rough times, but we definitely want to make sure that we're always moved and motivated by the reason we sat on that board, and that is, to serve the community. And it has been an honor to serve our community, our firefighters, our CSD employees, the district, the park, everything involved. And I just want to say thank you very much. I'm still here in the community. I'm going to be as active as I possibly can, but I'm moving on to do some other things and still looking forward to representing Morongo Valley, not only up at the Board of Governors at the hospital, but just here in the community itself. And I may not be at every meeting, but I'll definitely be at a lot of meetings. And again, just appreciate the opportunity to have been of service to my community. It's really been an honor.
Thank you so much, Matthew. It has been an honor serving with you. You've done a tremendous job. And like you say, some of us had our differences, but in the end, we were all looking for what was best for the community, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to present the SAFER information tonight, aren't you? For the SAFER grant?
I've got some of it, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere.
All right, great. Thank you. Christina, I will do the oath of office for you first. This is from the state of California, County of San Bernardino. Just repeat after me. I,
Christina Gorky,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of California
and the Constitution of the California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of California,
and the Constitution of the state of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties sorry, one more time, what was it?
Okay, upon which I am about to enter.
Upon which I am about to enter.
Okay, congratulations, you are now a board member of the Morongo Valley CSD. We're going to need to get a signature from you on this document, and we'll have the date, which is 12/16/2020. So I don't know, we'll figure it out later, Christina, how we're going to get your signature. Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think Brittany actually sent me a link to that form.
Okay.
Something that I need to sign in person in front of someone, or should I just sign it and drop it off?
You can sign it and drop it off. That would be fine.
Okay.
And you know the hours of the office?
Yeah.
9 to 2. Yeah, okay.
Hey,
All
Gail,
right,
it's gotta
thank
be
you very
witnessed.
much. Pardon?
It's gotta be witnessed when she signs it. So she can't sign it at
Well-
home. Brittany can witness it in the office. It's gotta be witnessed.
Okay. So when you
Okay.
bring it into the office, sign it in front of Brittany,
Yeah, that's all.
okay? Okay, Christina?
Perfect.
Okay. All right, thank you. Johnny, you're an old hand. I bet you haven't memorized.
It's almost a reading listening speeches if I hadn't said it California. So yeah, I've done it too many times.
Okay, I
I, Johnny G. Talbot Jr.,
solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, both foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you very much, Johnny.
Thank you.
You are on the board, and do you want to do the same thing? Just
Yeah,
bring a copy of, or
I'll print it out and take it down and sign it in front of Brittany.
yeah, and then once it's there, I'll go into the office and sign it because I have to sign it too.
Yeah,
Okay,
Easy
great.
enough. Easy
Um,
enough.
Pardon?
I said easy enough.
What, Johnny?
Easy
Yeah,
enough.
easy enough. Yeah, okay. Now, I would like us to, where is that paper? Well, do we all agree that we're going to take Matthew Campos off the register at the Pacific Western Bank, and that we're going to put Christina Gorky as the newly elected board member to be put on there?
Doesn't matter whether we agree or not with the law states.
Well, if they want something from the minutes, I want to have something in the minutes that we've done this. That's all.
You swore her in. The minutes will say she was sworn in, and then the letter goes. So we've always done in the past.
Okay,
You have
All right.
the minutes
Then
that she was
we'll,
sworn in as a board member, and we sign a letter saying yes. And
okay,
then they're gonna ask us all for ID again. They're gonna make all
Okay,
5 of us
thank you.
sign. You're welcome.
okay. I don't think we have a sheriff. Director of Operations, Mr. Breakbill is going to read that report tonight.
All right, I'd like to start off on a couple of
Gail?
events.
I have a quick question.
Yeah?
Does everybody have all the paperwork? Does Christina Gorky have all our paperwork for tonight?
I don't think she does, because she wasn't a member until tonight.
Then we can't do this.
Okay, send it to her.
We're just gonna go forward with the meeting, and then if there's something wrong with it, further down the road, we'll take care of it. She doesn't
So
have to
you wanna
vote on
redo this
anything
whole thing?
tonight. She
Uh,
does not have to vote on anything tonight if she doesn't
Okay.
want to, if she doesn't have the information.
Okay, Gail,
Chris-
right now, what you are trying to do is take away the vote of 700 people in this district who voted for her to be a member of the board. We all have to have the same information. The attorney's told you that many times.
Why
can't
can't we
go
just
forward.
forward it to her right now?
Because we're in the middle of a meeting. She hasn't had a chance to review it. We all have to have the same paperwork. That's why it comes out on Thursdays. You have a chance to print out whenever you want to. But we all have to have the same paperwork. We're talking about voting on 2 grants tonight. How's she gonna vote on the grant?
How about if we go ahead and forward her
Chris-
the email? I could do that right now.
Christina.
Christina, wait, let me ask her, Christina,
Y'all trying to get this whole meeting
let me
thrown out.
talk. Christina,
Yeah.
Gorky, if we explain the resolutions and the grant as we're doing it, will you feel you have enough information to go ahead and vote on it one way or the other?
I think so.
Make that complicated.
I
sorry.
can make it complicated.
So if you
The law
if
says
you
everybody has
feel
the
that
same
you would be
paperwork.
comfortable doing that, we can, Johnny,
I'm listening.
if you feel comfortable, Christina, we will go ahead with the meeting. And when we get to those different things and we explain them and talk about them, if you feel comfortable voting one way or the other, please let us know. And if you don't, then we'll put that on to the next month's agenda. Okay?
Sounds good.
This
Who-
whole
who
thing
is
should get
that?
thrown out. We are playing games. We are playing silly games. Right now. This whole
Christina,
meeting should be thrown out.
Christina Gorky, how do you feel about that?
I think that should be fine.
Okay,
As long
We're
as,
gonna
as long
continue.
as the questions that I have are filled in, so I feel like I understand what's going on.
okay. All right, thank you. Jim Breakbill, will you,
This whole thing's gonna be thrown out.
Jim, would you continue with the Director of Operations report,
Yes.
please?
Okay, so we had 2 events in November. One of them was the COVID testing at Covington Park. That was held on November 16th. In 2020, the Morongo Basin Healthcare District was at Covington Park giving out free flu shots as well as free COVID testing. They will be around the Morongo Basin the entire month of December if anyone needs a flu shot or COVID testing. Their schedule is posted on our CSD website. The second one was Operation Gobble. This was another year that the Morongo Valley CSD teamed up with the Golden State Water Company to donate turkeys to families in need. This year was a little different due to COVID, but we made the best of it with a drive-through giveaway. Very successful. Next, I want to go over the calls of the fire department. I'm going to give you the percentage, and then I'm going to give you the calls themselves. 66% of our calls in the month of November were EMS related. 10% were public assistance calls. 10% were no incident found, so we were canceled. 7% were traffic collisions, and 5% of our calls were fires. We had 27 EMS calls. 22 of them were ALS. 5 of them were BLS. We had 2 fires, 1 structure and 1 debris fire. We had 3 traffic collisions, 2 with an injury and 1 with non-injury. 4 electrical hazmat calls, and 4 where we were canceled or we didn't find anything when we got on the incident. And 4 calls were to assist citizens of the district. Training report, we had a total of 222 hours and 15 minutes. We had firefighter 1, firefighter 2 training, which again was hose tools, PPE drills, auto extrication. And just to save time, I won't go down the whole list, but our company, our captain is preparing us for the wildland season. He's done wildland training. He initiated the wildland red card pack test, daily crew workouts, hike the Old Glory pack hike, crew runs, weightlifting. Medical training was specific. We had COVID-19 protocol updates, decontamination, infectious control. We taught our EMTs how to assist the ALS with the cardiac monitor. We had training in trauma and OBGYN delivery and patient assessment, both from an ALS and a BLS point. Any questions? That's all I have to report.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the Director of Operations report?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Lori? Who hasn't said aye?
I did.
You did? Okay. Christina, do you feel comfortable with
Yep.
that report?
Yes, aye.
Okay. So you're an aye on that
Mhm.
to accept the report?
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
Okay, thank you, Christina. All right. Risk Management and Public Relations Ad Hoc Committee. Is there anything from Director Klimowitz or Director Brooke on that subject?
Christina, I don't think you have anything. I don't. We have,
Okay,
unfortunately, I have to apologize and to Christina Gorky too. I have been trying to find my old copies of the survey that we did and that kind of thing. I've just been so overwhelmed that I'm surprised I'm even here tonight. That's how bad it is. So we don't have anything to report this time, but a couple of
okay,
weeks of vacation here, and Christina Gorky, I will try to get in contact with you and we can start working on that.
if you let me know exactly what you want, I'll make sure that you get it, Lori. You don't have to look through your stuff.
Okay.
Just tell me what you want, email me what you want, and I'll make sure you get that, okay?
Okay.
All right. Fire Apparatus Driving Parameters Ad Hoc Committee. Johnny, is there anything on that, or Christina? I think we've kind of,
I think we kind of ended that, didn't we, Christina?
Yeah, I mean, we've had so many out of area, out of service, strike teams, etc., that we haven't really been able to go back to look at it. But I think we should still keep it on the agenda, and maybe in January we could, go back over what's going on locally and kind of just do a check-in with how our apparatuses are doing, because I know some were going in for certain repairs and just to kind of keep up with the inventory, the fleet inventory. Probably be a good idea.
okay,
Okay, I'm
that
good with
sounds
that.
good.
We'll do that in January, after the
next-
holiday.
Johnny, do you have anything else to add?
No, I'm good with that.
Okay. Number 5, Morongo Valley Community Services District and Fire Department Funding Ad Hoc Committees. Mr. Campos isn't going to be on that committee anymore.
Gail, if I may,
Chris-
as
Yes,
a civilian and community member, I would like to volunteer to be on that committee.
okay, great. And I think we're going to start something in January. We're going to start looking, it'll kind of be mid-year, and we can look at what our funding has been, and we can come to, I want to come to the board meeting in January with some ideas of what we need to go forward.
Okay.
And I will talk with you, Matthew, about that.
Sounds good.
Anybody else? Okay,
Hey, Gail,
Christina, yeah,
Gail,
yes,
should we appoint another board member to join you on that? We normally have 2 in the ad hoc committee.
I was going to ask Christina Christina Gorky, if she would like to be
Okay.
on that committee.
I'm sorry for jumping the gun then.
Would you, Christina?
What's the committee?
The committee is the Morongo Valley Community Services District and Fire Department Funding Ad Hoc Committee. It's to look at our funding and to see what things we have to do to be able to continue service to the district.
Okay, so budgeting basically for the year.
Say that again.
Budgeting for the year, or just a review of the information?
Well, review of the information and to see exactly where we're at now at mid-year. January will be about mid-year.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. The consent calendar, the minutes of the regular board meeting. Does anybody have any Have you looked through it, and does anybody have any comments or changes on the minutes?
I don't.
I didn't see anything when I read through it. Anybody else?
Move approval
Okay.
of the minutes.
Okay. And is there a second?
Second.
I'll second
Go
it.
ahead, go ahead, Lori.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Cash disbursements. Has everybody had a chance to look through that? Through our, let's see, what's that? Oh, here we go. Does anybody have any comments about the cash disbursements? I know there was a big chunk that went to SDRMA. And I don't know if is that a once a year or twice a year?
Neither. That was our, remember the lawsuit we had? Yeah, do you remember the
Say
lawsuit
that
we
again,
had?
Johnny?
The lawsuit that we had?
Uh-huh.
That was
Oh,
our,
yeah.
deductible. That $25,000 deductible.
Okay. Okay. All right. Are there any other things that anyone wants to talk about? So do I have a motion to approve the cash checks and disbursements and credit card purchases for November of $75,221.85?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Lori?
Christina Gorky might have to abstain on it since she hasn't had a chance
Yeah.
to see them.
I'm
Right.
looking at it. I
Oh,
got
you already have them? Oh, good. You have them.
He emailed me, yeah.
Oh, good. You have them. Great.
Lori, did you give your vote on that?
I did. I don't, I
Okay.
can't hear me. I don't know
Okay.
how to fix that.
Do you have anything else you want to add, Christina G?
Nothing at this point, no.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Do you want to abstain from the vote?
As far as the cash disbursements?
Yeah,
No, I'm comfortable with it. I've been able to look.
okay. Okay, all right. So that's it. Okay, we've already swore. Okay, Safer Grant. Matthew, would you give us the rundown on the Safer Grant?
Yes, there's a PowerPoint presentation
Matthew, yeah,
for this, Mr. Brickbill, and I'm actually going to turn this over to Captain Gorder to go ahead
okay.
and share with us the information.
All right, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
All
go
right,
ahead.
perfect. So Chief Breakbill, I'll just go ahead and let you know when to go ahead and switch to the next slide, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right, so we'll keep it on this one for right now, and I want to start off by saying good evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brennan Gorder. I'm a captain paramedic at the Morongo Valley Fire Department. I'd like to start off by thanking each and every one of you for your continued support, especially through this long and trying year, and for being here tonight. I came to Morongo Valley Fire Department in 2018 from other departments, and I've worked my way up the ranks here, and I'm forever grateful for the opportunity to serve this community alongside the most dedicated and professional firefighters I've ever worked with. Every single firefighter here is here for one reason, and that's you, the community. It's no secret that finances have always burdened this department. However, as we have all seen, it is an indisputable fact that this community needs their own fire department. This community and your firefighters take pride in being the only local control municipal fire department in the Morongo Basin. In the past, many people have referred to this department as a training department or a training station, and has been challenged by a revolving door cycle of personnel. And I'm sorry, but that's not good enough. The citizens of Morongo Valley deserve more. In my past 2 years, I have had the unique opportunity to work with the chiefs of this department and the director of operations to identify and attempt to solve issues or challenges we face as an organization and as a community. The most critical we face right now is the efficiency and longevity of your fire department. So tonight, I'd like to present you a proposed restructuring of the department to ensure the long-term survival while drastically improving the services provided to you, the citizens, as well as increasing the safety of the firefighters on shift. So the proposed plan is 2 parts. I'll explain each of these in this presentation and how together they will accomplish these goals and continue to benefit this community. I just want to let you guys know that if you have any questions throughout this PowerPoint, please don't wait to ask them. I'd like this to be an open discussion for everybody. All right, go ahead and go to the next slide. So the thing that we would like to start, that I'd like to start with, is some of the basic information that we're dealing with here. So Morongo Valley Fire Department, we have 1 operating station. We're currently operating 3 on the engine, with the 3rd member being a reserve firefighter earning $100 stipend per day. In order to streamline and manage this department in a more orderly and fiscally responsible way, we need to restructure this department somewhat. So the presentation will propose the idea, explain the changes, and provide proof as to why and how this proposed change will allow the Morongo Valley Fire Department to remain in local control while being managed in a more financially stable way. And really, honestly, we're not asking for a lot. We're not proposing a lot. These changes are going to be beneficial to everybody in the community as well as the department. Go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So the first one that we're going to start with is the SAFER grant. The SAFER grant has been brought up several times before. For those of you who don't know, it stands for the Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response Grant. It is designed to allow departments to comply with staffing response operational standards established by NFPA. NFPA is the National Fire Protection Agency. They set forth guidelines that we are to follow. NFPA 1710-1710, the 2020 edition, defines a company as a group of members under direct supervision, trained and equipped to perform assigned tasks, and they are organized and identified as an engine company, ladder company, rescue company, or a multifunction company. Obviously, at this department, we utilize an engine company. An engine company then is defined as a group of members who arrive at the scene and operate with 1 apparatus under 1 supervisor. They also talk about company staffing, which NFPA 1710-2020 edition defines as a minimum of 4 on duty. We currently run with 3 on duty, which we have been able to make do, and we're doing a very good job at it. The only issues that we have are the ones that we're going to talk about tonight. So we've already dropped down to 3 on duty and are making do with what we have. But ultimately, this arrangement of staffing is subpar and creating staffing issues due to low pay for the reserves, increased responsibility for these reserves, and no incentive for firefighters to staff as a critical component of the 3 on the engine staffing model. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that although we're making do with what we have, utilizing a reserve position as a critical 3rd member on the engine company.
Gorder's audio is going in and out.
Can you hear me now?
I hear him fine personally.
Is it you, Gail? Because I can hear him fine.
He's loud and clear.
Firefighter Vasquez can hear him loud and clear also.
I was gonna say it might be the Wi-Fi here, but so anyway, so we've dropped down to 3 on the engine, which we're making do with. We're currently utilizing the reserve.
Jim, Gorder
Gail, I think it's you because you're going in and out too.
Yeah, I can't hear her right now.
I can't either.
Captain Gorder, we could hear you just fine.
Can anybody hear President Swarat?
I can't hear her right now.
I can't either. She was talking and I lost her. Gail, are you still here?
She must be having Wi-Fi issues.
Yeah, I think Gail's having problems with hers right now. That's the problem.
Give it a minute.
You want me to continue or?
Yeah,
I think we should probably give her a
Captain
minute.
Gorder,
Are you
Yeah.
back, Gail?
I have a question while we're paused.
Yes.
yeah.
It's Miss Brooke. I'm just wondering, is this presentation being presented from our management team, our internal management team, or is it being presented to us by the union?
No, it's being presented as me as a captain. This has nothing.
I'm
to do-
sorry, you broke up, I couldn't hear.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the union at this time. This is me coming as a captain, trying to address and present information on the Safer Grant and propose how we can fix these issues.
And Captain Gorder, with all due respect, has this presentation been vetted by the chief?
Well, he knows about the Safer Grant. He told me that to go ahead and go with it
Okay, so you're working under his direction, then presenting this to us.
on the Safer Grant. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead, I guess.
Okay. So essentially, if we go for this grant, what we would be using it for is to bring up some of the reserves that are currently working for us for $100 a day, to bring them up to full-time firefighter status. By utilizing this grant, it is an opportunity to increase the efficiency, morale, and to build the department and increase services to the community by having more full-time certified personnel on the engine. It also provides an opportunity to keep highly motivated and trained employees who would otherwise find employment elsewhere. Especially right now with the COVID pandemic, we are dealing with trying to scramble to get people to staff because of other jobs, because of family issues, and so on and so forth. So this grant, for the first time ever, is offered at 0% matching for the department for 3 years. So in other words, if we request a certain amount of money and we receive that funding, that is good for 3 years without us having to match or pay it back. Now, I believe that this is critical for the long-term survival of the Morongo Valley Fire Department. It'll increase the service to the community, increase the scene safety for fire crews. It'll decrease the ISO rating, which will decrease the fire insurance for citizens. Any other questions so far?
I have a question.
Okay.
After the 3 years, what would the match funding go back to?
So the 3 years will give us time to find ways to make money, which our number one source of income is strike teams, as we all know. The issue with strike team staffing is exactly that. It's the staffing. We have the opportunity to make money every single season. It's being able to staff these rigs and make that money. By allowing firefighters to be here full time and making this their priority, there will be no issue of whether or not we have the staffing to send people out, or whether we have the staffing to obviously continue to serve the community, because that's our first priority. The problem is that when you rely heavily on essentially volunteers, the risk that you run into and the risk that we run into, and we all understand why. We are not asking to fund something that is not reasonable. And I want everybody to be very clear on that. We understand the financial constraints of this district. We always have, and we always will continue to. We are just trying to think outside the box to buy us time to make sure that we have the most adequate staffing to serve the community the
So
way.
I understand what you're saying, Brennan. What I'm asking is, after the 3 years of
Yeah, so
0% matching,
after the 3 years, it's not necessarily like it's not a payback. It's just you have to be able to sustain whatever you choose their wage to be. So if we keep
right, and that has continually been a problem for us because
yes, well, the good news is, depending on how you look at it, of course, but the worst case scenario would be that if we do realize that we absolutely cannot fund this, they would go back to reserve status.
okay, so there's no obligation to continue it after the 3 years?
No, with the SAFER grant, there's never been an obligation for that person that gets hired to keep their job. Other departments, for example, San Diego County has always labeled them as limited term firefighters. So they were under the understanding, the mutual understanding that at the end of their term, at the end of their contract, which was usually 2 to 3 years, they would either get hired full time if there was an opening, or their contract would be terminated.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Absolutely. That's what this is all about. Any other questions?
I have a question. Does the grant cover benefits or just payroll?
No, so that's a good question. So the grant is basically what happens, and the reason why we were kind of under a time constraint in order to process this is because there are some changes that need to be made to the budget at the mid-year budget review in order to apply for this grant. And the reason being is because you have to show how much you need. For example, workman's comp, unemployment, benefits, as well as your payroll. And the other thing that I should mention is that there is no cap as to what you can ask for during the SAFER grant. I've been in talks with several other chief officers from other departments who have $5-6 million annual budgets that are requesting 1.2 to 2.5, and they have received it. Now, obviously, that's not what we are asking for. That's not what we're trying to say. We are simply trying to do the minimum required to cover, to basically buy us 3 more years to get what we need in order to be able to stand on our own 2 feet.
Okay, Brendan, again, oh, I just lost my train of thought. Whoop, just went away. Okay, so if we have no obligation after the 3 years is what you're saying. But, I mean, I love the idea, don't get me wrong, but my concern is we never seem to get past the we don't have any money problem. We never seem to get past.
Well, yeah, and I do have an answer for that as well. And that is the simple fact is if you look back in the past, you will see, and as you know, you've been on the board for some time as well, that a lot of times the the increase in fire taxes and stuff do not get passed, correct?
Right.
Part of the reason why is because you don't offer the services in order to justify paying more money. If you were able to show the community that you are offering them the best service that they can get in an area like this with 3 full-time paid certified people on an engine, plus public education services, plus inspection services, plus a decreased ISO rating, which decreases their fire insurance. That's how many other departments are getting an increased fire tax.
Yeah, that's true. Now, in our little town here, and this is the same issue I have brought up for 3 years now, the communication of that information to the community is difficult and spotty, you know.
I understand. And that is absolutely true. And that is my next goal, is to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Okay.
Yeah, no, and these are all good questions, good talking points, and everything is being taken into consideration. And we do have the backing of the International Association of Firefighter Union. Their biggest goal is exactly things like this, to be able to assist with public education. I just feel that in the past, that hasn't been tapped into.
Okay.
The other thing too is we've been getting an enormous amount of feedback on the Facebook page. For the first time in a long time, people are actually seeing what we're doing. And the support has just grown tremendously. You know, I mean, we've been informing the public through Facebook, and
Which page?
it's the Local 5028, the union Facebook page.
Okay,
Yeah, I can send you the link after the meeting if you're.
that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brennan, is there, I have a question for you, Brennan.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
there a deadline? Is there a deadline on when we can apply for this?
Yes, ma'am. We need to have everything in order before June of 2021 is around June 2021 is the final filing date. But in order to do that, you have to make changes to certain things on the budget, which we'll explain later in this presentation.
Okay, thank you.
I just don't want us to be caught off guard at the last minute. I want to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row. I understand that this is a risk, but it's an educated risk and it's a strategic risk. With the rewards are just, I mean, we're talking about the longevity of the fire department here.
Okay, continue on with your
Okay.
presentation.
Next slide, please, Chief. All right, so as I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation, the plan that I'm proposing is two-part. So the first part was going to be the SAFER grant. The second part, which can only work in conjunction with the SAFER grant, is the restructuring of the fire department. When I say restructuring, I don't want you guys to think that it's going to be major changes. We're basically consolidating and switching titles. And this is the part that I was talking about that needs to happen on the budget in order for us to be able to justify the need for the money that we're requesting in the SAFER grant. So going forward, I want everybody to keep in mind that the term duty officer does not pertain to rank. It's a role or responsibility given to a rank in the fire service. The funds allocated for duty officer are being underutilized. Local 5028 redacted the requirement for a duty officer 24 hours a day in the latest 2020 MOU. As I stated before, we currently run a 3-0 shift with 2 engineers as the company officer. From here on out, will be referred to as CO. This is a liability due to the engineer being the driver operator and the company officer in charge of 2 other personnel, which leads to the need for a dedicated company officer to properly oversee the daily running of a shift. Next slide, please. So, what does a captain actually do? Captains are traditionally the duty officer appointed to a specific shift in the fire service. We run A, B, and C shift, so we have 3 shifts. A captain in the fire service serves as the highest ranking functioning unit on any engine crew. Think of it like middle management. Our responsibilities include, but are not limited to, incident command, scheduling for a shift, crew morale, crew training, reports for every incident, crew discipline, all daily station duties, all public information, employee evaluation, and public education. This is obviously in conjunction with the chief officers of the department. Any questions so far? All right, next slide, please. All right, so what's the difference between a captain and an engineer? Engineers are experienced, certified driver operators who oversee the apparatus and transporting the crews safely while providing water, foam, and other tools needed to the firefighters on the fire ground. Once again, responsibilities include, but are not limited to, apparatus checkouts, apparatus maintenance, drivers, pump operations, and they are the second in command alongside the captain. So both functions are highly specialized and require different training. Both are required to run an effective engine crew on any emergency scene. Next slide, please. So the proposed changes we're talking about is a clear division of labor between the company officer and the engineer on every shift by having 3 captains, 1 on each shift on the engine. that will create a dual position of captain duty officer and a dual position of engineer paramedic. Go ahead and switch.
Is that Bobby? There we go.
Next slide, please. So how is this going to be better for us? The dual position of captain ensures a competent and capable duty officer is on duty 24 hours a day without costing the district extra money, who understands the area, the surrounding agencies, and available resources benefiting the crews as well as the community. One of the things that Director of Operations Yearsley and I have talked about and kind of table talked about was the fact that looking for a stipended duty officer is very difficult in this area because we need somebody who understands the area, understands how to work with our cooperating agencies, and understands the resources that we as a department have and what our shifts and what our crews and personnel are capable of. In addition to that, it'll financially redirect funds currently allocated for the duty officer position, which has been held in the past by individuals who are too far away to respond, unqualified in terms of knowing the area, being able to work with the crews, and they're too detached from the crews to benefit the engine crew on scene on calls. The other thing that I mentioned before, strike teams require the utilization of both a captain and an engineer to provide safer operations in high stress environments. Better productivity while on the station, better scheduling, better training, and more streamlined shift work, sharing the workload between 3 shifts. It'll also greatly increase the safety for the crew and the citizens due to the incident commander also overseeing the operation as a safety officer. It'll decrease the span of control. And with the leadership and knowledge of a trained and experienced captain, a 3-man engine crew runs at a much better capacity. Response times decrease and on-scene effectiveness increases by allowing the captain to oversee the engine crew and act as an incident commander on a TC or a fire, and the engineer to focus on apparatus placement and pump operations. Basically, what I'm trying to convey here is that it is very difficult for our engineers to be the company officer and an engineer. So what happens is we give the driver, operator, and engineer responsibilities to a reserve who's making $100 a day. The whole point of a reserve program is to offer training and those kind of benefits. The problem is that because we're running 3.0 and because we only have 2 full-time certified personnel on the rig, that third person already has all the qualifications to be a full-time firefighter. So they don't stay for very long. So the department and the agency spends money on training them just for them to leave. Next slide, please.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, this is the first time I've seen this or heard of it. And I just checked with a couple of the board members and they haven't heard about this either. So I have some great concerns that I could have discussed with the presenter, but Chief Yearsley doesn't know about this and I don't know about this. And I was just wondering if any of the board members know about this. I'm a little perturbed that the chain of command hasn't been followed because this is the first time I'm seeing this. Matthew gave it to me around 4:45 this afternoon. And I was under the impression that he was going to present it because he was a member of the board at that time. But I feel highly insulted that the chain of command wasn't followed. And I am not happy right now. I'm not happy that I wasn't involved in this. And I know for a fact that Chief Yearsley is not going to be happy because he usually tells me when this happens. And, you know, I support a lot of the things that we do at that fire station, but when I'm not involved, when I'm the deputy fire chief and nor am I notified, I'm going to put a stop to it. All right. And I hope I have support from the board. That's all I'm going to say. I'm shocked.
Jim, go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny.
When this first started, I do believe Captain Gordon said that he'd already discussed this with Chief Yearsley.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what he said. And I checked
So,
with Chief
Captain Gordon?
Yearsley.
Yeah,
Captain
no,
Gordon?
we've discussed the SAFER grant, and we've discussed the fact that in the past it hasn't gone through. And he has told me the drawbacks of the grant, but the last time we spoke about it, it was let's see what we can do, let's make it happen. And the reason why I wanted to discuss it during this board meeting is, like I said, this is the last board meeting before the mid-year budget review.
Okay, so I want to know, does Chief Yearsley know that you're putting this on right now? Did he condone that? Because if he did, then I'm going to talk to him.
No, he's been out.
Gail?
Okay,
Gail, you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I do
Johnny?
believe you sent the board an email yesterday that maybe you need to pass on to Chief Brakebill before he contacts Chief Yearsley.
I think at this point, what we have to do is I agree with Mr. Brakebill, and I did not know, this is not something that we are going to vote on tonight or do anything about tonight. It's merely a presentation, and I don't know that it was authorized or not. And so I am going to, as the president of the board, say we will not continue with this, and we will not have anything to vote on tonight dealing with the
Why?
SAFER grant.
Why?
Gail, this is Gary.
Because-
I'm on the call and I'd like to talk not as a position in the
Gail?
thing, and I
No,
can be on this call.
Gail, you know what's going on. Cut it off.
Johnny,
Cut it off.
just Johnny, be quiet now.
You cut him off.
Say,
Cut it off, Gail. You know where we're at.
so just stay out of it, Johnny.
It's a liability,
am
Gail.
going-
Cut it off.
Johnny, be quiet. You've said what you're going to say. I'll have to ask Jim Brakebill to cut your speaker. You've said it. I hear you. I am going to say that this was not sanctioned properly to be presented tonight to the board. And I am going to say we're not going to deal with this anymore tonight. And that's as simple as it has to be. So this is going to be put on the back burner, and we will talk about it at the next regular board meeting. Not here. So we're going to move on to the next thing on the agenda. Okay. Are you there, Jim?
yes, Gail, I'm here. I just think it's
Oh.
better that we discuss it when the chief is here and all board members are present.
Oh, yeah, and the thing is, that his presentation is not enough for us to make any decision on anything.
Well, I just want,
Really?
you know, it's not that I'm
Yeah.
against the presentation or the information.
Right.
It's
Gail,
the
you
chain
said
of
the
command.
presentation-
It's the chain of
you said-
command.
Yeah, you said the
Chain of
presentation
command was
was
not
enough for us to
followed.
make a decision. Did we hear the entire presentation?
No, Johnny,
So then, oh, no, I'm asking
No,
a simple question.
Johnny.
You said there was not enough information to make a decision. Did we hear the entire presentation? Yes or no?
we did not hear the entire presentation, and we're not going to hear the rest of it tonight.
Then your
So-
comment makes no sense. You made a comment that makes no sense. How can you say we don't have enough information if we didn't hear all the information?
No, I'm saying even with this presentation, I would have to have a whole stack of stuff from the SAFER grant that says every single thing that you have to do to get the SAFER grant. So there's no way we would approve of anything tonight. So we will put it on next month's agenda. Let's move on. to the resolution approving the application for per capita grant funds. Is everybody back with us now? Jim? Are we back on, Jim? Are we back on, Jim? Jim, are we back on?
Gail, we can hear you.
Jim,
Oh, okay.
you're muted. Jim, you're talking, but you're muted.
We can't hear you, Jim. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So would you bring back Christina and the other people that we're gonna move forward to the resolution 2006 approving application for per capita grant funds. And I have something to read about that. Is everybody on board and can hear? Chris, can you hear Christina?
Yeah, I'm just muting so I don't pick up on background noise.
Oh, okay. All right. We're talking about the per capita grant funds. And what we have to do is we have to pass the resolution, attend a mandatory workshop, identify our project. The application is due December 31st, 2021. Execute the contract by June 2022 and submit completion package by March 2024. The total amount allotted is $180,123. We are not required to match as we are labeled a severely disadvantaged community. The grant will cover everything from start to finish. However, they will only cover up to 25% of construction costs, meaning only 25% of the total allotted amount can be pre-construction. They do classify anything that is done after groundbreaking as construction costs. It will cover anything from remodeling to repairs. This is a reimbursement program, however. We can ask for advance payment, which means if it's a reimbursed, it means that we have to put out the money first and then they'll pay us. But we can ask for payments in advance. And I have the resolution. And
Question, Gail.
Yeah.
What workshop?
Yes. Pardon?
You said we have to attend the workshop. What are you talking about?
Well, once we apply for the grant, there's going to be a workshop that tells us how to go about doing stuff once we pass this resolution.
Okay, is that going to be who has to attend the workshop is my question. Does the board, does the director of operations?
No, it's the director of operations.
Okay, the way you made it sound like we had to attend one. Thank you.
No.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Sure. So, and I think Christina Gorky, I think this is going to be something that you're going to be really interested in working on. Am I right on that?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So I have the resolution. I think all the board members have the resolutions other than Christina Gorky. It's resolution number 20-06, resolution of the Board of Directors of the Morongo Valley Community Services District approving application per capita grant funds. Whereas the State Department of Parks and Recreation has been delegated the responsibility by the legislature of the state of California for the administration of the per capita grant program, setting up necessary procedures governing applications. Whereas said procedures established by the State Department of Parks and Recreation requires the grantee's governing body to certify by resolution the approval of project applications before submission of said application to the state. And whereas the grantee will enter into a contract with the state of California to complete the project. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Board of Directors hereby approves the filing of project applications for per capita program grant projects. Do you want me to keep reading? This is page, 2 pages.
I would say just read the second one.
Okay, second page
No,
or the second?
the
Yeah,
second
okay.
item.
Okay, so number 1 was approve the filing of the project applications per capita program grant projects. And 2, certifies that said guarantee has or will have available prior to commencement of project work utilizing per capita funding, sufficient funds to complete the project.
Madam President, I move we waive the rest of the reading as we have read what's the word I'm looking for, Christina? I can't remember now.
Say
You're
that again,
muted.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
You just say
Oh,
we're going to be waiving the rest of the reading of the resolution.
Yeah, I know we can do it. I have to forget
Right.
that other word to go through, but yeah, we can waive the rest at this point.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve resolution number 20-06?
I
So
do.
move.
Okay, Christina
I'll second.
made the motion, and then Johnny.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? This is for, let me write this down, resolution 2006. I want to take a roll call vote.
Most definitely.
Christina Gorky?
Yes.
Aye, okay. Christina Brooke?
Aye.
Lori Klimowitz? Lori?
She's muted. You're
Lori?
muted, Lori.
Unmute, Lori.
Sorry, I'm not on mute, but the family made noise.
Okay.
Yes.
Aye, okay. And I am an aye. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who did I miss?
Me?
Me? Oh, no. Well, you, okay, Johnny.
Aye.
Okay, and me, I'm aye. Gail is aye. Okay, this passed unanimously, and we'll get the ball rolling on this. And Christina Gorky, I'll keep you in the loop on this, okay?
Awesome.
Okay, all right. Perfect. Next. Resolution. Okay, we've got that. Oh, we're about at the end of the meeting. Individual directors' reports. I'm going to
excuse me,
start with,
Madam
yeah,
President,
what did I miss? Yes,
the
what did I
Osborne,
miss?
we added that.
Oh, yes, thank you, Johnny. Would you speak on that subject, please?
I sure would. Normally
you.
every year, we award the Chuck Osborne Volunteer of the Year Award at the end of every year. We normally take nominations in November, we vote in December, we award in January. We hadn't brought it to the board yet, to the agenda. So that's why I thought we should bring it up tonight. But I was also thinking that unfortunately, we pretty much shut down all volunteerism in February due to COVID-19.
Right.
So I would move that for this year and this year only, 2020, that we do not award the Osborne Award because we were not able to allow people to volunteer due to the pandemic.
Right. I think that's a good idea. Do any of the other board members want to say anything on that?
So that sounds reasonable.
Good idea,
Christina,
Johnny.
yes.
Good idea, Johnny.
Thank you.
Okay. Tink, can I call you Tink?
Yeah, that's fine. I agree.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna table that for this year.
Gail, we need to
Okay.
vote on that. Gail, unfortunately, we need
Yeah.
to vote on that because it's something we're supposed to award every year. That's why I made a motion.
Okay. So Johnny made the motion. I will second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oops, I was muted. Aye.
Okay, all right. It passed unanimously. Okay. So we are at the point of the individual directors' reports. And I'd kind of like to start with our newest member, Tink, if you would like to say a few words to the community, say whatever you like.
I'm really looking forward to getting things started and trying to offer my support in different areas and, hopefully, grow services for the community and see where it goes from there.
Great, thank you. Director Christina Brooke.
Well, it's gonna be nice having two Christinas here.
Yes, it is.
Christina B&G. Welcome, Christina. I can't wait to pretty much transfer my knowledge. I've been on the board for a long time now. And, my goal is to pass everything on that I know so that, I can retire in 2 years when my term is up. So it's nice to see somebody from the community with family that's interested in, the park and other issues with the community. So welcome on board. And I'm here if you have any questions, anything I can help answer. It's really a joy to serve this community in this way. And anyway, we're winding down at school. This is our last week, Thursday and Friday tomorrow. It's been really hard. But the good news is that the kids are rising to the occasion on the long distance platform. And we're doing assessments right now, and the kids are really thriving. So even though we had to do a new way of doing business, I'm really pleased with the kids in our community. Their families are rising to the occasion, and the kids themselves are rising to the occasion. It's just been hard because it's just so much more work for all of us teachers
Right.
that are working. But we want to wish everybody happy holidays and stay healthy. Consider, staying within your own nuclear family group. I'm canceled going up to see my daughter for her first time away. And it's hard. I know it's hard on everybody, but somebody told me at work, sacrifice this Christmas to have 20 more. So
Right.
that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. But thank you all for a great year. Look forward to 2021. I hope it'll be a much better year.
Thank you, Christina. Johnny?
Start off with welcome aboard, Christina Gorky. With us having two Christinas, if you wouldn't mind telling us what you prefer to be called, so we have to go Christina to Christina and get totally confused. I know I would.
I'm
Also-
actually, if you want to go by my nickname, that's totally fine with me. It's Tink. Or, I don't know if one of us goes by Chris and the other one Christina. Either works for me.
Whatever you prefer to be called is what I will call you. I'm very easy that way.
All right.
Also,
I would say to make it easy, let's just go with Tink.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
As always, I'd like to thank the men and women of the Morongo Valley Fire Department. The service you provide for this district is unimaginable. Thank you so much. You put in a lot of hard work, a lot of hard hours. Thank you very much. Also, the district office staff, once again, putting in a ton of long hours, ton of hard hours. Thank you very much. I do believe that one thing we need to look at this year going forward as a board is we are finding things such as the agenda that are signed and all of a sudden now it's not correct. We need to stop this. We have two signatures on the agenda. Those signatures are to say the agenda is correct to be presented to the board and to the public. Tonight we have two signatures and all of a sudden here, oh, this wasn't approved by me. Well then, what did you do? Did you read it? Did you do your job? Let's all do our jobs. If we don't work together, this district will disappear. I believe our attorneys told us more than once that the only authority is the authority of the board. No individual has authority. Let's not push it. We're doing it again. We're turning around that I have authority, you have authority. No, only the board has authority. Get rid of the individual BS. I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Please celebrate safely. And speaking from someone who unfortunately came down with COVID-19, you don't want it. I had a very mild
Right.
case. My family had a very mild case. We were extremely lucky. I know people weren't so lucky. Have a happy new year. Looking forward to next year. Looking forward to serving 4 more years on the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. Lori?
Okay, I'll do my usual ditto what all you guys said. No. Maybe I can go first sometime.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Sure.
I'm just
I'll
kidding.
make a note of that. I'll make
Mostly,
a
I want
note
to
of that.
say just again, I apologize for not jumping onto the park thing. Christina Brooke is right. It is so, you know how we always complain for years. We complained that being teachers we're busy. I couldn't believe that it could get harder and worse, and it has.
Oh.
To the point where one day a couple weeks ago, I thought to myself, I think I've reached my limit. Like literally, you always know there's one. I think I reached it. But anyway, I do want to say happy holidays to everybody, whatever it means to you. Try to stay safe. One day at a time is all we can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. I also would like to welcome Tink to the board. I think she's going to bring a lot of new energy and new ideas to the board. I'm so glad that a younger person in the community has stepped forward to help out, because it's really going to be your community. You know, well, I'm probably the oldest one on the board, but I mean, we need young people to jump up and be on board, because this is a really nice community and it's a beautiful place to live, and we're all so lucky, I think, to live here. And I just appreciate, Tink, you're coming on board. And same to everybody. Be safe, wear your masks, you know, wash your hands, do all the things to keep you and your family safe. Happy holidays, happy new year, and we'll see you next year. Okay, thank you all very much. And Jim Brakebill, thank you for being the host to all these meetings.
You're
we
welcome.
really appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, are there any public comments? People want to, I forgot all about that.
We didn't have to, holy cow, I forgot that myself. Eek.
Oh, public.
Was there any, did you see any, Christina?
Nothing in
Did
the
you
email.
see? Did you see any, Jim?
No, Gail, I did not.
Okay, all right.
Hey,
Somebody,
Gail, we need to make sure
yeah.
this is in the next month. I just know it's not even on our agenda. We need to make sure it's on the
Well,
agenda next month.
okay,
I
I'll
haven't touched
check.
that.
I'll check it out for next month. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, see you next year, all. Thank you so much. Yes.